Can you still do the 5 things that 97% of older adults struggle with as we age? It's easy to focus on the big health scares like heart attacks or strokes, but often, it's the small hidden declines that sneak up on us. The everyday movements we used to do without thinking now feel harder, and when those little abilities slip away, they quietly chip away at our confidence, independence, and freedom. In this video, we're going to walk through 5 simple but powerful things that most older adults can't do anymore but should. These aren't just fitness tests, they're signs of how well your body is aging, and more importantly, they're things you can actually improve starting today. Stay with me through the end because these aren't gimmicks or exercises from a fitness magazine. They're real-world challenges that reveal your balance, strength, mobility, and health more honestly than any checkup ever could. And if you find you can't do one of them right now, don't worry. I'll show you why that's not the end, but the beginning. If you haven't already subscribed, I recommend you do that now and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos that help you stay sharp, strong, and independent. Standing on one foot for 10 seconds. Let's get started. Number 1. Standing on one foot for 10 seconds without support. This might sound simple, but the ability to balance on one foot for just 10 seconds without holding onto a wall, chair, or countertop is something that 97% of older adults quietly lose without even noticing. It's not about athleticism, it's about connection. When you lift one foot off the ground, your brain, muscles, joints, and nerves all have to work together in real time to keep you steady. That's called proprioception, your body's internal GPS system, and with age, it weakens unless we actively train it. The problem is, we rarely challenge our balance in daily life. Most floors are flat, and most movements are predictable. So when balance gets worse, it doesn't feel urgent until one day it causes a fall. There was a man named Don, 77 years old, who had no major health issues. He walked every morning, did crossword puzzles, and took care of his garden. But during a routine wellness class, they asked him to stand on one foot. He laughed until he tried. He couldn't make it past 3 seconds. Don hadn't fallen yet, but that moment made him realize just how fragile his balance had become. He started practicing near the kitchen counter, just 10 seconds a day. After a few weeks, he hit his goal, and what surprised him most wasn't just the balance, it was the confidence. He felt lighter, quicker on his feet, and his fear of falling, which he hadn't admitted before, finally eased. If you're unsure, test yourself right now. Stand behind a sturdy chair, lift one foot, and count slowly. If you wobble, that's okay, but don't ignore it, because balance isn't just about not falling. It's about being able to turn, reach, step sideways, or recover when the unexpected happens. And here's something most people forget. Balance is deeply connected to brain health. Studies show that poor balance can be an early indicator of cognitive decline, so improving your stability is more than physical, it's neurological. This isn't about comparing yourself to anyone. It's about checking in with your body. 10 seconds may not seem like much, but the ability to stand tall and steady, without fear, is one of the clearest signs your body still trusts itself. And if you've lost that trust, a little, you can earn it back one foot at a time. Sitting down on the floor and getting back up without using your hands. Number 2. Sitting down on the floor and getting back up without using your hands. One of the most revealing ways to check your overall strength, mobility, and coordination is to try something that most people haven't done in years. Sit all the way down on the floor and then get back up without using your hands, arms, or knees for support. This movement may sound simple, but it's not about how fast you do it. It's about how your body responds. It requires balance, lower body strength, core control, flexibility, and mental coordination, all working together, and that's exactly why it's such a powerful aging test. As we grow older, many of us gradually stop sitting on the floor. We avoid it without realizing we're avoiding it. Getting up feels awkward, knees feel stiff, hips feel tight, And before long, we start making those small choices that quietly limit our freedom, like skipping things that require kneeling, bending, or reaching low. Let me tell you about Alice. 74. She hadn't sat on the floor in over a decade. She said, "That's something for kids and yoga people." But one day while visiting her granddaughter, she tried to join her on the playmat. She got down but couldn't get back up without grabbing the couch. It caught her off guard. Her doctor later explained, "If you lose the ability to rise from the floor unassisted, your risk of losing independence over the next few years goes up dramatically. That one movement reflects the strength and resilience of your whole body." So Alice started practicing. She used a pillow at first, strengthened her legs with supported squats, loosened her hips with gentle stretches, and practiced engaging her core. It took weeks, but eventually she could sit and stand without using her hands, and she said it made her feel 20 years younger. If you try this test, do it safely. Use a soft rug, have a chair nearby, lower yourself gently, then see if you can rise without using your hands or knees to push off. If you can't, that's not failure. That's a signal that certain muscles and joints need your attention before they slip further. And here's the good news. This ability is not lost forever. With slow, consistent movement, almost anyone can improve. The body is remarkably responsive, even in your 70s or 80s, if you treat it with patience and care. This isn't about being athletic. It's about being functional, being ready. Because if you ever fall or drop something or want to play on the floor with your grandkids, you'll want to know deep down that you can get up again on your own. Climbing a flight of stairs without holding the railing or pausing. Number 3. Climbing a flight of stairs without holding the railing or pausing. Stairs have a way of revealing the truth about your legs, lungs, and heart. One of the clearest signs of aging that often goes unnoticed is the subtle shift from walking upstairs confidently to doing it cautiously, with pauses or always holding the railing. It's not just about leg strength. Climbing stairs requires coordination, joint support, cardiovascular health, and confidence in your balance. When even one of those areas declines, your body starts to hesitate, and that hesitation becomes habit. For many older adults, this change happens gradually. First, it's a little knee pain, then maybe a bit of breathlessness, then a habit of using the handrail just in case. But what begins as prevention and quickly become dependence. Let me share the story of Glenn, 79, who lived in a 2-story house for over 40 years. He used to bound up the stairs without thinking, but lately he'd found himself holding the railing and taking breaks. On the way up, he hadn't told anyone until he nearly tripped one morning because his foot didn't lift high enough. His doctor told him the ability to climb stairs unassisted is a strong predictor of independence and heart health. So Glenn took it seriously. He started doing simple leg-strengthening moves, step-ups, wall sits, calf raises, and focused on walking daily to boost his endurance. Within a few weeks, he noticed he wasn't winded by the third step anymore. Within a few months, he could climb a full flight without grabbing the rail. And with that came something even more valuable than strength: pride. If you're able to climb a flight of stairs smoothly without using your hands or pausing to catch your breath, that's a great sign your body is still functioning well. But if you struggle, even a little, that's a message worth listening to. It could be tight hip flexors, weak glutes, poor ankle mobility, or simply reduced cardiovascular fitness, but none of those things are set in stone. You can work on them gently, safely, and consistently. If stairs aren't part of your daily life anymore, that's okay. You can still mimic the movement with low step-ups on a safe platform or walking inclines outdoors. The key is to keep your legs strong enough, your heart steady enough, and your balance stable enough to handle elevation without fear. Because the day you stop trusting yourself on stairs is the day your world starts to shrink. But the good news is, you can take that confidence back one step at a time. Turning your head fully side to side without stiffness or pain. Number 4. Turning your head fully side to side without stiffness or pain. It sounds so simple, just turning your head. But as we age, this basic movement becomes more restricted than most people realize. And it's not just about comfort. Your neck's mobility plays a huge role in balance, safety, and overall independence. Think about it. When you cross a street, you turn your head to check for traffic. When you drive, you look over your shoulder to change lanes. When you walk in a crowded store or step off a curb, you scan your surroundings. If your neck can't move freely, your body starts to compensate, and that's when trouble begins. Over time, a stiff neck leads to poor posture, reduced spatial awareness, and a greater risk of falls. And because it happens slowly, many people don't even notice it's getting worse until something happens that forces them to pay attention. Take the case of Barbara, 76, who had a small fender bender pulling out of her driveway. It wasn't serious, but when her son asked why she hadn't seen the car coming, she paused. "I couldn't quite turn all the way," she admitted. Her doctor found tightness in her cervical spine along with some arthritis-related stiffness, but what surprised Barbara wasn't the diagnosis. It was how quickly things improved once she started doing gentle daily stretches and movement exercises. Just a few minutes a day of slow head turns, shoulder rolls, and gentle resistance movements helped her regain control. Within weeks, she noticed she could turn fully without tension, and not just while driving. Even walking through her neighborhood felt easier and more fluid. To test yourself, try standing or sitting tall. Slowly turn your head to the right, and then to the left. Does it feel smooth? Do you hear cracking, or feel tightness in your shoulders or upper back? If you can't rotate at least 60 degrees without effort, that's a sign your mobility is limited. Neck stiffness isn't just about age, it's about use. The more you avoid movement, the more your body locks itself into smaller, safer ranges. But those safe zones shrink your world, and when your head can't move freely, your entire sense of balance and awareness suffers. The good news is you don't need to be flexible like a gymnast. You just need to restore enough mobility to move safely, comfortably, and confidently. And that starts with tiny, consistent efforts. So whether you're sitting in a chair, lying in bed, or standing in your kitchen, take a moment each day to gently turn, tilt, and roll your head, loosen what's stiff, and remind your body that it still knows how to move. Because when your head moves freely, the rest of you follows, and life feels just a little bit bigger, clearer, and more open again. Carrying a 10-pound object across the room without losing posture or breath. Number 5. Carrying a 10-pound object across the room without losing posture or breath. This one might sound like a simple chore, but it reveals more than most people expect. The ability to carry a 10-pound object, like a small grocery bag, laundry basket, or box of books, from one side of the room to the other, without hunching over, losing your breath, or needing to stop, is a quiet test of real-world strength, endurance, and control. And it's one that most older adults gradually fail without even realizing it. Over time, as we age, muscle mass declines. So does grip strength, lung capacity, and core stability. You may not notice it when you're sitting or standing still, but the moment you add weight, movement, and time together, that's when your body starts to reveal the truth. There was a man named Ray, 82, who had always prided himself on doing his own shopping. But he noticed that carrying his grocery bags from the car to the kitchen left him more winded than usual. Then one day, he caught a glimpse of himself in the mirror, leaning forward, shuffling slightly, shoulders rounded. He hadn't realized how much strength he'd lost, or how much that loss had started affecting his posture, balance, and breathing. Ray didn't give up. He started doing simple resistance training at home. Soup cans, light dumbbells, walking with small weights in each hand, and most importantly, he focused on posture. Standing tall, pulling his shoulders back, engaging his core. A few months later, not only could he carry his groceries with ease again, but he said he felt stronger just walking down the hallway. To test yourself, grab something around 10 pounds, like a filled water jug or small laundry basket. Walk 20 to 30 feet. Do you stay upright? Do your shoulders round forward? Does your grip feel weak? Do you need to pause to catch your breath? This isn't about weightlifting, it's about function. Because in real life, strength is carrying your own bags, moving a chair, helping someone else, holding your grandchild. And here's something to remember. Your core isn't just your stomach. It's the whole system of muscles that keep you upright, steady, and strong. Without it, carrying even a light object becomes a struggle, but with it, life becomes easier again. More active, more mobile, more free. If this feels hard for you right now, don't be discouraged. It's a starting point. With small, safe exercises like walking while holding weights, doing seated rows with a resistance band, or even gripping a tennis ball daily, you can rebuild what time has chipped away. 'Cause the truth is, strength after 70 isn't about showing off. It's about showing up for your life, your home, and your future. Final thoughts. Now that you've seen all 5 of these everyday movements, how many could you do comfortably? 1, 2, maybe none at all. Here's the truth. This video isn't meant to test you. It's meant to wake up. The part of you that still wants to grow, to challenge, to strengthen, even if you haven't felt that way in a while. Most people over 70 start losing these basic abilities quietly, gradually, without anyone noticing, not even themselves. And then one day, a simple task feels harder, a step feels shakier, a breath feels shorter, and slowly, life starts shrinking, but it doesn't have to. You're not powerless. Your body still listens when you give it attention. Your muscles still respond when you ask them to work, and your spirit still rises when you remember what you're capable of. Even if it's just holding your balance a few seconds longer than yesterday, if even one of these 5 signs caught your attention today, let that be the beginning of something, not the end. Try one challenge today, then try it again tomorrow, and watch how the smallest effort leads to the biggest shift. Not just in your body, but in how you walk, how you feel, and how much you trust yourself. Because your independence doesn't end with age. It ends when you stop asking your body to support you. So keep asking, keep practicing, keep growing. Thank you for joining us today. We'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment below and share one thing you learned today and how you plan to use it in your life. Your thoughts are important to us, so don't hesitate to share them. Reading your comments gives us great motivation and encouragement. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, please like, subscribe, and share. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Thanks for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video.